The Endeavour Season 7 gave us a very dramatic ending, where both Endeavour and Detective Inspector Fred Thursday had a midnight showdown. There were several stories that stretched through the 3 episodes, but by the end we finally discovered who the towpath killer was. But with so many threads to tie off in the season finale, some things were left unanswered. Let's break down the series and explain what does the ending mean for future endeavors. The first and foremost, who was the towpath killer? It turned out that DI Fred Thursday's instincts were right all along, as Carl, the jealous boyfriend of the killer's original victim Molly Andrews, was revealed to be the serial killer. But there is a plot hole where Endeavour himself points out that Carl had an ironclad alibi for the first murder, which wasn't addressed in the series. Also, another revelation was that Carl is the brother of Jenny Tate, a waitress with a gift of foresight, who was introduced in the earlier season. They both escaped after a house fire, but Carl's past is a mystery after that fire. Now, there was a masked man who tried to strangle someone earlier, before being chased onto a road and into an oncoming car. He was in fact a copycat killer and not Carl, of which Endeavour realized later on that he had been taking a different approach due to the copycat. Afterwards, Jim Strange followed up on a tip provided by Endeavour, only to discover Jenny tied up in a house where Carl was staying. Jim and Carl had a scuffle where Jim was stabbed. Endeavour arrived at the scene to find Jim on the floor and called the ambulance. This was the last time we saw Jim, but he will survive as an older version of the character, stars in the original Inspector Morse. Another side story where Endeavour caught onto an insurance scam, where Ludo, Endeavour's friend, turned out to be the mastermind behind the freak accidents. The only way Endeavour finds that out is the connecting factor was that all the victims sold off their life insurance schemes, meaning that insurance money which would have gone to their families after they die will now go to the buyers of the scheme. Ludo and Violetta were killed in Venice, where Ludo was shot by Fred, who had tailed Endeavour without him knowing, and Violetta saved Endeavour's life by jumping in between him and a bullet. Following a huge bust-up between Fred and Endeavour, it seems that Endeavour might be transferred to another police station, as on Christmas Day, Fred went to Endeavour's house and found it empty. After getting home, he found a letter that Endeavour sent to Fred's daughter Joanne, where he admitted that he was the cause of the breakdown of relationship between Joanne and Fred, also telling Fred that Ludo was behind the spate of freak accidents. It remains a mystery that will Endeavour go back and repair the friendship between Fred and him, or we might see some new characters in the next season. That was the ending of the season 7 of Endeavour. Like and comment with your thoughts. Also, here are some more videos for you to watch.